All this National Extreme Festival action is proudly brought to you by CompCare Medical Scheme, Dunlop Tires, Ferodo, the #1 in brakes, and InvestCare. Welcome to the Extreme Festival, round number 3 of the National Championships, and it's round 4 of CompCare Polo Cup that we kick off the show with. A completely different way of doing Polo Cup this time out in Quebec. Here at the Friendly City, we're going to get a little bit unfriendly with 40 minutes of endurance racing for the second heat of racing today, and it's going to be absolutely amazing to see what happens. But of course, we've got race 1 to sort out first. That's a normal sprint race, but in order to sort that out, they've got to go out there and do the qualifying, which they're busy with right now. It's going to be interesting to see who gets into that top 6 for Super Pole. Ethan Coetzee looks pretty confident that he's there, but looks on track like there might be a very good lap coming in here, possibly from Jean-Andre Marais or Jason Loosemore, and I think it's Loosemore. Loosemore has just snuck in and got up into that top 6. Charlie, so far so good, buddy. Nice little lap there to get you onto the front end, but you've got to do it one more time, and hopefully you've got a decent enough time for the second race as well, which is a 40-minute endurance race.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to start battling for the enduro race, because I think that's the start that matters the most. For the sprint race, we can still fight and make up positions, but I think the second lap time for the enduro race will be the best. The qualifying pace of the car was very good. Just want to thank the team and my parents for giving me the best car there. Actually, I'm so happy with the car now.
Take us through that hot little lap there. Didn't quite get you to the front, but looks like in those race eyes that I can see in this helmet, there might be another lap in hand here.
Yeah, I'm a bit in trouble. What we thought we're going to do is, of course, Michal and Lupini has only 4 pushy passes, where the other has a bit more than us. So I couldn't get a lap in that first lap. We struggled a bit with understeer, so I had to waste my other 2 pushy passes that I should have used now in Super Bowl. So I just hope I can get it to the top 3 again. It's going to be much more difficult, but we're gonna try our best.
Time to get out there for Super Bowl, and Davy van der Merwe, as you heard there, has used up all his push-to-pass mechanisms, so he's going to be a little bit pushed to try and get to the front end. I think Charles Visser is looking for the perfect weekend, and he started things off really well with pole position for Super Bowl and pole position for the endurance race. As they come to the closing stages though, Davy, as you can see, just outside of that top 5, Giordano Lupini coming through nicely as well. As always, a man to watch out for here in the Super Bowl shootout. You said they gave you the best car in the world. It certainly is the best car in the world. That is an amazing lap you just put in. 11 dead.
Well, yeah, it certainly is the best car in the world. I can't complain. I mean, we had a little bit of problems in Swartkops, and the team really worked day and night to sort the car out, and the car is very fast. It's a joy to drive and everything, and just got to put the lap together. Let's see if I can give the big person to the team tomorrow and win both heats, just to say thank you. And yeah, feeling good for tomorrow. Car feels very good, like I said. So just I must just stay calm and just take our time.
So Charles Visser and Anthony Pretorius on the front row ahead of Nathan Victor and Jason Loosemore. Giordano Lupini and Davy van der Merwe ahead of Ethan Coetzee, Paxi Komani, Tyler Robinson. Incredible start there from the young lady up into the top 10 ahead of Faran Basha. Then it's Dean Fenter and Bryce Pillay. Jean-Andre Marais, the local man, ahead of Mo Karodia, and bringing up the rear end there. Look out for Roshan Goodman. And of course, we're looking for a big one from Rasley Harris. On board with Nathan Victor, as we're about to go racing now for the first time here of 2 races. This is the sprint one, this is the short one that counts, and this is a great start from Charles Visser off the line. Absolutely lightning quick, and it doesn't look like there's any answer there coming from Pretorius. He slots in behind Visser, just trying to block Victor, puts him onto the grass a little bit as they go across the start-finish line there and down towards turn 1. Pretorius hangs on to second place, and Victor slotting in into third. And problems in the background. Faran Basha and Jean-Andre Marais coming together. Rasley Harris went wide, so did Bryce Pillay. Looks like 2 cars coming together there. A couple of other cars, I think, had to take evasive action, and that has just caused a huge ripple effect in that mid-pack. Davy van der Merwe has got huge pressure coming from Ethan Coetzee by the looks of it, right from the word go, as they head up through that very fast hanger sweep for the first time. Charles Visser is pulling away ever so slightly there from the rest of the pack. As you can see, you can see exactly what was happening there. A bit of defensive driving, and the safety car has been deployed. So there must be an issue down at turn 1 after all that fracas, and safety car has been deployed now. So let's have a look at that. In the mid-pack, you can see Faran Basha just getting a little bit of a push from the back end. It may have come from Jean-Andre Marais. You can see Rasley Harris had to go wide and try and avoid the 2 spinning cars, and just slotting in between was Bryce Pillay. This is Tyler Robinson's point of view. She just goes inside, stays out of trouble. Lucky there for the young lady. The AF fans and Team Red Racing lady just stayed out of trouble. Foreign Basha though, look at that left front door. Big bang on the left front door there from him. And looks like we're back in racing. Yes, the safety car is back into the pit lane, and it's line astern across until they cross that finish line. Then everybody can go and attack. And already look at those push-to-pass mechanisms being used. The lights come on, and they're using those push-to-passes to get up close and personal with everybody involved in that front 7 or 8 cars. Visser on the brakes, holds on, and oh, he's under huge pressure. Look at that. The bucketless car getting completely out of shape under braking. Anthony Pretorius, after such a magnificent weekend at the previous round, has certainly got his confidence way up there. But Charles Visser has already put it on to pole for 2 races. He's taken the Super Bowl, and he's now looking for race number 1 to keep that perfect weekend going. Let's catch up now with Tyler Robinson.
My team has set up my car really well, so I'm going really nicely. Hanger is scary though. It's a really scary corner.
Is it foot flat?
No, it's not, because I think if I did that, I'd be in the wall. But I'm really enjoying the circuit. It's really got some nice pace to it, and also some tight corners, so you have to know what you're doing to race here. You really have to put your mind to it to go fast, because it's quite a difficult circuit.
You can see the confidence is building in this young lady, looking for a top 10 finish. First time ever in Polo Cup. Another man who's had top 10 finishes and finish at the front is Giordano Lupini. And look at how hard he's battling there with Darby. Let's catch up with him.
Look, it was unfortunate that we had to miss the first round, but we made the decision to compete at Killarney. We pulled a few sponsors together, and thank goodness they've stayed on board. They've been great ever since, and we've been really fast on track. So it's a big catch-up game now. Hopefully we can do it by the end of the season, but we're already up to 3rd. It's going to start getting tough now, but we just got to keep on winning.
Stage fighting for 4th there, Gio, so a little bit of work to do here in the final stages. Charles Visser's done it all right. Look at the gap he's pulled over Pretorius here onto the final lap. So it looks like it's going to be a continuation of that perfect weekend for Team Red Racing. Charles Visser, Anthony Pretorius continuing his merry way at the front end in 2nd place at the moment, and it's Nathan Victor looking for a podium. Brilliant stuff there from the Floors on Trend and Summit Racing, man. He is now getting through into those top 3 all the time, becoming a bit of a threat at the front end of this championship. As we get to the closing stages here, this is the final corner. Out of Dunlop they come, and those Dunlops, as you can see, sliding through there. Charles Visser, loving life at the front end, and we're taking the first victory here of the day. The perfect weekend continues for Visser, ahead of Pretorius and Nathan Victor. Jason Newsmore just squeezing out and getting ahead of Lupini. And then it was Kutsia, Baxi Kamani, Tyler Robinson with their first top 10, Dean Fenter and Bryce Pillay making up the top 10. Absolutely brilliant stuff. One thing that most of these drivers will be thinking about is the conservation of their tyres, because the next race is a 40-minute endurance race. And not only did Charles Visser take the victory here in race number 1, but he also scooped up the Dunlop Pole Position Award.
We had a safety car on lap 2, and then I think that really abrupted the race pace. And then after the restart, Anthony hit the push pass and I did as well. And then he kept me on my toes in the first corner, but after I just made a little bit of a gap, and I think that just maintained me being calm, and then that just set the pace for a race. And then just happy we got the win, and going to prepare and analyse for the enduro race, and I think that will be a fun race.
It was a tight race that was very difficult to keep the car on the track, but at least we came across 2nd and see what we can do later on.
It was a good race, my first podium in Polo Cup, so I'm really happy about that. Yeah, it's just a motorsport, you never seem to be pleased unless you're on top. So yeah, we're going to be going for that in the 40-minute race, but yeah, really happy with the result here today.
Bit of work to be done there with QV Motorsport to get Foreign Basha's car back up and running, but I'm sure they've got some spare parts that they're going to be throwing at those cars to get them ready. A couple of guys with some battle scars out there. And now a whole change up in your mindset for race number 2. 40-minute endurance race. It's only been done once before in Polo Cup racing, so let's see who's got what it takes now to get to the front end after 40 minutes of racing here at Aldo Scribanti. Lights on, and we're about to go racing for 40 minutes. They go off, and it's going to be Charles Visser to lead the way down towards turn 1. Pretorius going to go with him. Good start coming out of Ethan Kutsia again behind Darby van der Merwe. We're on board with him as they head down towards turn 1. Side-by-side action, as always in Polo Cup, is pretty frantic when you get to the front end of this field, particularly in turn 1. And around the outside, look at Basha trying to find a way through there on Giordano Lupini. He finds his way through a loose ball, and in the background again, another crash into turn 1. Dean Fenter's been taken out there. The M-Town and a VDN Motors machine out. Looks like there's some problems as well there for Mo Carodia. And is that Rasley Harris? Yes, it is. Red flag. Oh, so we're going to have to restart this one. And by the looks of things, a couple of negotiations on the grid. We're now going to drop this down to 30 minutes. Have a look in the background. Dean Fenter just being touched there by Rasley Harris. Wow, did Tyler Robinson miss him? Only just missing the spinning car right in front of her. Here's Robinson's point of view. You can see Polo goes wide, and there you go, just tucking in. She tries to avoid the spinning cars. Look out for Rasley Harris coming through there as well. And there, nowhere to go, into the back of Mo Karodia. Tyler Robinson, Mo Karodia, Rasley Harris, Bryce Pillay. Oh, a whole bunch of cars involved in that one. Fortunately, Tyler Robinson's got going again. This is Karodia's point of view. You can see Harris getting out of shape on the brakes. That's what started the big effect that happened down into turn one. And as you can see there, Dean Fenter being forced wide after being tapped by this man right there, Rasley Harris. Mo Karodia had nowhere to go, and there loses a wheel in the way. Oh, that is a huge moment. So a couple of very battle-scarred machines down at turn one. It looks like both Tyler Robinson and Rashawn Goodman out of race number 2. As I said, they've negotiated a 30-minute restart now, so they've dropped the race down by 10. Still a long way out on track. Nearly 7.5 minutes longer than normal in a race of Polo Cup. So it's now time to see who has got those Dunlops with enough rubber to race the next 30 minutes. Remember, with that safety car coming out now, it doesn't negate the safety car rule that was going to come in for the 40-minute endurance race. There was going to be a compulsory safety car, which the COC now has in an envelope. It was drawn by Charles Visser, the pole man, as we go on board here with Victor into turn 1, and it will dictate when that safety car comes out and for how long. Now with a 30-minute race and of course a full restart, the safety car rule is still in place. So at any time from now until 5 minutes to go, that safety car could be deployed. And it doesn't necessarily mean for an accident on circuit. It's just a compulsory safety car that will be brought into play. And it's going to affect this race big time, particularly considering the fact that we're getting this kind of action. Wow, how was that? Gio Donalupini trying to find a way through. Pretorius having none of it and just forcing Gio into a little tap as they went up into the hairpin. Now they come down through the Chevy sweep, absolutely flat out. Nathan Victor on the back end of Giordano Lupini. That little tap between Lupini and Pretorius has opened up a huge margin between the two of them. Kutsia now into the mix, along with Faran Basha. Great to see those two having a big recovery. And you can see some maneuvers coming there from Jason Loosemore as well. Look at Davy van der Merwe, holding nothing back as he squeezes on the inside of Nathan Victor. Watch on the right-hand side. You might see that red, black, and white bonnet just squeeze through. Victor looking across, saying, right, let's see who's going to have what it takes on the brakes as they go down towards turn 1. This is very awesome stuff. Loosemore looking to go with Davy van der Merwe if he outbrakes him. And he's done that. He's got on the inside of Nathan Victor. Loosemore hangs back ever so slightly, giving them a little bit of room to play as they get into the S's. This is Victor's point of view, and look at Davy, absolutely lit into the first part of the S's, sideways from Davy van der Merwe. Brilliant stuff there from the Nathan's Motorsport and the OMP driver. He has got some huge pressure coming here from the back end, and Nathan Victor wants another podium, there's no doubt about it. That first podium little sniff is giving him a lot of confidence, and he keeps it up here into race 2. Looks like Giordano Lupini's closing ever so slightly there on Pretorius, but look in the background, the closing up effect that's happening with this little battle. And it's Faran Basha and Ethan Kutsia who's joined the party. 5-way fight for 4th place. Davy van der Merwe hangs on to it for now, but how much longer can he soak up that pressure from Victor? Victor's got huge pressure from Loosemore, and the same thing can be said from the 2 cars behind. Little gap. Oh, safety car's being deployed. There it is. The safety car rule is now in place. So how long is that safety car going to be out for now? They bring the safety car out. It concertinas the whole field back into each other's drops. And look at that, Jean-Andre Marais with a massive turnaround compared to his first race. Remember, he went off circuit in the first race. The local man looking to push hard now and maybe get into that top 10 if he can. This should be a little bit of a turnaround here. They weren't expecting this at this point in time, but of course no one expected the safety car because only the COC knew when it was coming out. And how many laps? It's only 2 laps. Only 2 laps of safety car and we're back up and racing. So it's line astern, single file until they cross the finish line, and then everybody can put their hammer down. Who has still got some push-to-pass mechanisms left here for this final bit of the race? Another man who's ever improving, particularly after a big crash, was Ethan Kutsia.
Ethan, you've been pretty busy lately. You had Pekiza, now you're at PE. How's it going?
Yeah, well, it's going well. So I won in Pekiza, and over here, I came here. I haven't been here in over a year. FP1 I was quickest, FP2 the times are so close, and overall I really enjoy this track. It's fast and flowing, and I feel confident about the weekend.
Any pressure from Lee?
I mean, there are expectations, but they're not visual, so he doesn't really put direct pressure on you, but the pressure more comes from within myself.
Or from Lee Thompson, the man he was referring to there, but I don't think there's a lot There's a lot of pressure being put onto Faran Basha though. Ethan Kutsia looking for a way past. He's got his own pressure coming from Dean Fenter. Bryce Pillay and Jean-Andre Maria just behind the two of them as they head into the closing stages here of this 30-minute enduro. Charles Visser is looking to do the absolute perfect weekend. If he gets this victory, he's taken every aspect that the points can give him, and that will include 2 fastest laps for the weekend as well. Giordano Lupini, as we heard from him earlier on, is trying to do the catch-up game, and right now he's got a lot of catching up to do. Let's see what happens now in the closing stages as they come down under braking. He's under pressure there from Davy van der Merwe into turn 1. They're trying to catch the bucketer's car just ahead there of Anthony Pretorius. The two of them have pushed hard, but they haven't quite been able to get there. Ethan Kutsia back onto the back end here of Faran Basha. Basha just soaking up that pressure, not giving any room yet to Ethan Kutsia from Lee Thompson Racing and JRT. As they come flying through into the S's. Ooh, a little touch there between Basha and Kutsia. It's closing stages time. You've got to put the pressure on. You've got to find a way through if you can. That's exactly what we're seeing here from these three. Little late dive there from Darby. Can't quite get up the inside. Then further back there, Jason Newsmore trying to find a way past. Can't at this stage. And Victor is just ahead of them. So there's non-stop action here between these guys. This is the kind of action we expected to see. It's only 30 minutes we got of it instead of the 40. But needless to say, take nothing away from all the action that's been provided in this enduro. Giordano Lupini now with a last-ditch effort. Can he find a way through? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. He runs a little bit wide going into Dunlop. Charles Visser comes out of Dunlop and looks for that checkered flag again. That's it. The absolute perfect weekend for Charles Visser for Team Red Racing. Second place is Pretorius, but how close is third? Giordano Lupini and Davy van der Merwe coming across the line 3 and 4. They were ahead of Nathan Victor and Jason Newsmore. But if you look at the results, down in 11th place is Giordano Lupini with a penalty being incurred. And it's Anthony Pretorius who finishes ahead of Davy van der Merwe, Nathan Victor and Jason Loosemore, with Faran Basha making up the top 6. High five amongst the top 2 there. They were very impressive out there. So was Giordano Lupini, but I don't think he realizes he might have had a post-race penalty.
Not bad. We had great pace. We got up to 3rd. I felt like I could have been in 2nd and probably could have caught the leader, but Anthony defended so well I just couldn't find a way past. So otherwise it was a fun race. Can't complain. A bit of bumping and barging, but I think that's what Polo Cup is about.
Yeah, it was difficult. The whole race I had Giordano on my tail, so it was, and eventually I just came home to come 2nd. So we move forward and we see what happens in the future.
So yeah, I think this was the pinnacle of the race weekend. You know, this was the enduro race, and this is where all the hard work for preparing and everything went into. I had a good start, and then there was an unfortunate incident in turn 1. I hope everyone is okay. And then we had a restart again, and then I started pulling, just doing some fast laps and stuff, and then after that just try and manage the car and not overdrive. And then on the restart, Anthony hit a push to pass, and then he was keeping me honest for a few corners, but after that, because I was the normal car in front, I got all the clear air. So Anthony did a really good job keeping up with me, but in the cold air just came in my favor. But yeah, overall I'm very stoked with the points we bagged, and thanks for the team giving me this car. This car is amazing. We struggled in Swartkops a bit, and they worked day and night. So I'm super stoked, and I just want to say thanks to my parents, and I want to dedicate this race to my father. I mean, without him I wouldn't even be here, and yeah, just feeling super stoked, and we're going on to the next national, and I'm feeling confident.
This is the championship heading to East London. The next round, it's Charles Visser at the top. Davy van der Merwe has moved up slightly ahead of Nathan Victor. Giordano Lupini was dropped down 1 position into 4th place, so he's got some work to do at the next round. We'll see you after the break with more action.